Hola clase, esta noche vamos a hablar de los mandatos afirmativos. ¿Qué son mandatos informales afirmativos? They are commands to someone to do something, someone that you would address as a tú. This is important because if you were talking to a teacher or someone that you need to address as an usted, you would have to set up your mandato, your command, a little differently. Notice we're also just learning afirmativos, meaning we're not going to learn how to say, don't go to school, don't go to sleep, don't eat that, for example. We're only talking about affirmative informal commands. Now let's talk about how we form them. We're going to look at an AR, an ER, and an IR verb. And I want you to see if you can remember, just based on my ejemplo, how you would form them. So estudiar would turn into estudia, study, estudia. Comer would turn into come, come el pollo, come la cena, eat the chicken, eat the dinner. My IR example is also a stem-changing verb. Dormir, sleep, duerme. So in case you can't remember, you form them by forming the third person singular. That means the el form of the verb. Okay, ahora vamos a hablar de los verbos irregulares. There are several that you need to know. Again, this is just a repaso. Es un repaso, it's a review. Decir, which means to tell, is di as a command. Por ejemplo, di gracias, say thank you. Hacer, which means to do or to make, is haz as a command. Por ejemplo, haz la tarea todos los días. Do the homework every day. Haz la tarea todos los días. Ir, which means to go, becomes ve. Notice ve is also ver in the el form. So this is when you would use context to determine if you're saying sí or go. Por ejemplo, ve a la escuela, go to school. It wouldn't make sense if I'm saying ve as in ver, which means see the school. Again, that's using context clues to figure out what the person is trying to say. Poner, which means to put, becomes pon. Por ejemplo, pon el plato encima de la mesa. Put the plate on top of the table. Pon el plato encima de la mesa. Salir, to go out or to leave, becomes sal. If you want to ask someone on a date this weekend, sal conmigo este fin de semana. Go out with me this weekend. More like a command than asking them on a date, but you get the idea. Ser, with an accent on it. Ser means to be. Sé is also saber in the yo form, like I don't know, no sé. So again, this is when you would need to use context clues to figure out if someone is saying be or I know. Por ejemplo, sé amigable, be friendly. Tener means to have, obviously, and that is shortened to just ten. Por ejemplo, ten cuidado. Be careful. Ten cuidado. Venir significa to come. That becomes ven as a mandato. Por ejemplo, ven a mi casa luego. Come to my house later. Now, when you use a pronoun, you don't have the option of putting it before a conjugated verb. When you use pronouns with commands, you have to attach it to the command. If the command is more than one syllable long, then you need an accent. As you saw from a lot of the irregular verbs, most of them are just one syllable. So those you don't need to have an accent if you attach a pronoun to it. But for the most part, many verbs are more than one syllable, and you need to put the accent 3 vowels behind. So some ejemplos are: Dame el martillo. Give me the hammer. Da comes from dar, which means to give. So I attached my pronoun, which was me, or me, to my command like I'm supposed to. However, da is just one syllable, so I don't need an accent. Dame el martillo. Now, what if I wanted to say, give it to me, and I'm talking about el martillo? Dámelo. Then I would need to have an accent on my A. So again, clase, if I'm saying give it to me, and I'm referring to el martillo, then I'm going to say, dámelo, and then I count back 3 vowels. 1, 2, 3, boop, dámelo. Okay, you know that reflexive pronouns, obviously, now they have to become attached to your verb also. So, these are tu commands. They are informal. That means, clase, that I'm going to use te as my pronoun. So, levantarse will become levántate temprano. Levanta is obviously more than one syllable. So when I attach my pronoun to the end of it, I have to count back 3 vowels. 1, 2, 3, boop. Levántate temprano. Get up early. Y voy a darte un ejemplo más. ¿Tienes mala comida? Do you have bad food? Sácala por ahora. Throw it out now. So, por ejemplo, saca is 2 vowels, or 2 syllables, so I'm going to count back 3 vowels. 1, 2, 3. Again, you cannot put your la before your verb. In this case, you have to attach it to your command. You have no other option. Okay, clase, hasta mañana. Make sure, clase, that you complete the very last part of the notes, which are just a few ejemplos of mandatos.